protect the citizens and serve them as they use it is just, in our mind, just a poor choice on their part.
And I agree. So do you think it will have to be defeated first to get the attention of the designers?
Well, I mean, that's a possibility. I mean, we honestly feel like as the citizens take a look at this and hear what we have to say on the issue, that there is a chance that it will not pass. And again, I've got to go on record as saying that it's very important that the public understand that at no time has police and fire been opposed to economic development. In fact, we're huge supporters of it, as I mentioned earlier in the show. Mm-hmm. We've actually given money to help advertise for the MAPS initiative. So, we understand how important economic development is for the lifeblood of the city and its ability to raise funding and so on to pay for public safety and so on. And so we're not opposed to that. We're just saying that as we do it, we have to give consideration to those infrastructure needs, and part of that infrastructure need is for fire and police protection and additional public employees to take care of what they build.
Do you find people, though, gobbledygooking this up, you like my word, gobbledygooking this up with the issue of the firefighters' overtime or whatever? Or in your mind, have people been able to keep these two apart?
Well, no. I mean, I'm not even sure how you could make that connection there, because really there's no connection to the issue that was raised by the Oklahoman in the paper and to the MAPS project. And as it stands, that was really kind of a separate issue, just discussing, I think, firefighters and their pay and how we're paid and so on. And of course, that's another show perhaps, but we could get into a lot of discussion about that. But the public needs to understand that the schedule the firefighters work, which involves long hours and very difficult work, very dangerous, very stressful, is a job that although we have a whole lot of people apply for those positions, when they get through going through a number of people, they get the very best of the best, and those people are worth what they earn, and the overtime issue that was raised really is a separate issue, but they earn that overtime because they work such long hours.
Sure. I'll tell you what, if you don't mind, Mr. President-elect Phil Sipe of the Firefighters Local Union 157, let me take about a 3-minute break, and then we'll come back and talk more, okay?
Sounds great.
So don't go away. Again, I'm talking to the President-elect of the Oklahoma Fire Union 157. We're talking about MAPS 3 and how public safety is involved with this. You're listening to 1000 KTOK. I'm Radio 1000 KTOK, Gwen Faulconer Lippert, talking to the President-elect of the Oklahoma City Firefighters Union 157. This week, Phil Sipe, the President-elect, spoke at City Council and was able to publicly speak on behalf of the firefighters of Oklahoma City. And I was reading here in the history of the Oklahoma City Fire Department. It was a small volunteer fire company with one donated hand-drawn wagon housed in a small frame building. When formed, it was the department's duty to protect less than 10,000 residents. How many people do you protect now, President-elect Sipe?
Well, right now the population of Oklahoma City is about 560,000, and we do a lot of mutual aid. We have mutual aid agreements with all the cities that we surround and that border on Oklahoma City. So you're looking at us protecting at times you could say as many as 750,000 people, and that's a lot of responsibility in a very large area that we cover, one of the largest landmass areas for a city in the United States. So we have a big responsibility, and our department really has to stay on their toes to stay on top of it all.
And how often is there a fire? I hope not very often, but do they kind of run in spurts?
Yeah, they do kind of run in spurts. This time of the year is very important, and, appreciate the opportunity to kind of address that issue. This time of the year when people are starting to turn their heaters on and so on and fire up the fireplaces and start thinking about trying to stay warm in cold weather, that's when the fires tend to increase. So we certainly want the public to remember how important it is to be fire safe. That's one of the reasons why October is a fire safety month, and our guys and gals out there on the rigs will be very busy this month doing a lot of activities and with the community and neighborhood associations and schools and so on to try to educate people about fire safety.
How firefighters should we really have? I know the goal is 1,000, but how many should we really have to support 750,000 people?
Well, that's a tough question. I know they completed a study in 2006. They commissioned a study, the council did, and that study really indicated that in addition to the two stations that haven't been built yet from the 2000 bond issue, it recommended that we build 3 more on top of that. So you're talking about a total of 5 more stations than we currently have. And we have 35 right now. So the department's going to have to grow to meet the community's needs. I mean, there's just no way around it. And as the population grows, and it's going to, because Oklahoma City is a booming area in many ways in terms of population growth, and then we're going to have to address those needs as the population increases, because buildings and sidewalks and streets and things like that, they don't dial 911, people do.
That's exactly right. How many firefighters are at a station at a time?
Well, it depends on the stations. And some of your smaller stations, you can have as few as 1 company there that has 5 people on it. And then some of the larger stations, like the ones downtown, you might have as many as 3 or 4 different kinds of apparatus there with as many as 20 people on duty.
And so I noticed that with the police, Bricktown caused a lot more stress with the urban development and all the Deep Deuce apartments and the Hill and built Block 41 and all that stuff. Has your downtown cluster needed to be larger as well?
Well, I mean, that's absolutely true. You make a very good point there. As you build in the downtown area and add residential type properties, you increase your population density significantly, and as you do that, that's going to increase your call volume. It's just a fact, and as that call volume increases, so will the need for greater fire and police protection.
So 1,000 isn't going to cut it, is what I'm thinking. What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I mean, as it stands right now, I mean, you could make an argument that we could use another, as they build the stations anyway, use another 150 to 200 more firefighters in the city. But that comes with a big price tag, and expenses certainly go up as you hire more people. But that doesn't. As expenses increase, it doesn't take away from the need for it.
Well, one of the things President Hensley did not buy was we'll grow the budget when we grow the population and when we grow with maps. Do you buy into that?
Well, those are the promises that they've made ever since the first MAPS project passed in '93, and I think that's the issue with us and why we're having such a difficult time with it, is because if in fact the promises that they made that MAPS would increase economic development in the city and increase our tax base and so on, so that we could have the money to pay for these services, then why hasn't that happened? And in fact, the opposite occurred. We actually have lost personnel in all 3 departments, both the public employees, the police department, and the fire department. So,
and what did they say?
We really don't know what their answer is to that question, other than they spend 65% of the budget on public safety, and we question whether or not that's actually accurate.
Interesting. I thank you so much for your time, and I hope I get to see you at council again sometime.
I will certainly be there, and I'd certainly love the opportunity to come back on the show sometime and talk more about the fire department.
Thank you, and you actually become president on October 13th. I hope that's a great day for you.
Well, I appreciate that, and I think it will be.
Thank you so much. President-elect Phil Sipe of the local Firefighters Union 157. Thank you for your time. Good evening.
Thank you, Glenn.